I don't see Dr. Curry on here. So before I start, I just want to make sure if he's on the Zoom.
Trustee Lopez, I do not see him in the room yet.
Got it. Thank you.
Good evening, Trustee Lopez. How you doing?
Dr. Curry is here now.
All right. All right, Ms. Paula, are you ready?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Ms. Paula, if you could do roll call, please.
Certainly. Trustee Calhoun,
Present.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Present.
Trustee Ramos,
Present.
Dr. Little,
Present.
Trustee Lopez,
Present.
Trustee Atkins.
Present.
Thank you.
All right. If Trustee Ramos will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the flag
Flag
of the United States of America and to
and
the
to the
republic
republic
for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
Under God.
under God, indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty and
and
justice
justice for
for all.
some.
You didn't get your milk, didn't you?
Yeah, it was 2 and 1, right?
Trustee Lopez, you're muted.
I apologize. So I take it the item number 6 was not heard. Let me repeat. Item number 6, report of actions taken in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54857.1. Language being reported out. In closed session, the board took action to deny an appeal of an employee complaint of discrimination pursuant to board policy 3435. The vote was 5-0 in favor. Moving on to item number 7, approval of open session agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
So on under action items, item 14.02, I'm not sure if it's correct, but it lists contracts over 96,700. This item's 65,000. So shouldn't it be under consent agenda?
Which item are you talking about?
We're talking about open on item number 7.
Well,
yes.
the approval of the agenda, I'm wondering if it needs to be corrected. 14.02 moved up to somewhere on 13.
Yeah, it should be moved to consent. And that's, you can move it to consent. It can be moved to consent item number 13.15.
Okay.
Do you want me to really move it?
No.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I had.
All right, trustee Calhoun, trustee Calhoun, do you have anything on item number 7?
Um, approval of, I'm sorry, of open session.
Correct.
No, mine start with 13, so.
No problem. And then we have Dr. Little,
No, thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No, thank you.
trustee Benson,
No.
all right. And so before we move forward, there is a modification to item number 7. There has been a change to move item 14.02 to the consent agenda item to be listed as 13.15.
Let me do this.
All right. Miss Paula, can you get a roll call?
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
No problem. Moving on to item number 8, recognition. And we have Senator Stephen Bradford joining us today. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so I don't see a picture, but this is some new through Zoom. Earlier in the year, the board wanted to recognize our elected officials, and tonight we have the opportunity to recognize Senator Stephen Bradford in recognition and appreciation of your many contributions to and continued support of Compton College and Compton Community College District. We have a plaque for you presented today, February 16, 2021. It's a nice plaque, which will be on social media in the next 5 minutes, but it'll be mailed to you, but you get to see what you got from us. So we want to say thank you for everything you've done for Compton College and Compton Community College District. Senator Bradford.
Why are you mailing it to me? You know, I can't pick it up.
Yeah, you can. I can make sure it's there for you. I got you.
Hey, well, first, let me thank Dr. Curry and your incredible leadership since being at Compton College and all that you have done to remove the college out of receivership, but also your elected board members and their hard work in making sure that Compton College is there for the community to provide educational opportunities for the communities that need it most, our Black and Brown communities. So I want to thank the board members, my good friend, Barbara Calhoun, Dr. LeBlanc, all those folks that I've known for years, well before you got there. But again, Dr. Curry, I appreciate your leadership, your friendship, and I'm honored to receive this this plaque. But more importantly, to work in collaboration to make sure that we make higher education accessible to all people, especially people of color, especially in the Compton area. Compton College has a historical relationship to our surrounding community. And in light of Black History Month, I just appreciate all that you've done, all that this community college will continue to do. And if I can be of any further assistance in moving that agenda, just feel free to reach out to me and my office. And as you know, we'll always be there.
Thank you. Is there any board members who'd like to say a few words?
I would.
And so we will start with the
Who said I would? First, President Lopez?
Nope, I am just going to make sure that our board members follow the protocol of who goes in what order. So I'll start off with Trustee Ramos.
I just wanted to say thank you for your service, Senator, for advocating for the college and the Compton community.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Trustee Calhoun.
Congratulations, woo woo. But would you like for me to give that to your staff person? You know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you talking about. I don't even know you. Miss Calhoun, you could do whatever you want because you know I'm scared of you.
No, you're not.
Shoot.
No, I'm serious. Would you like for me to give it to your staff person, Mila?
Yeah, please.
I
Thank
I
you.
can, yeah, I could drop
Thank
it
you
off
very
to
much.
her
Thank
wherever
you.
she wants to meet me at. I could drop her.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Calhoun. I really appreciate all what you've done.
And
you
I appreciate
continue to
everything
do.
that you're doing for the college. So keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Dr. Little.
Yes, I too just wanted to thank you so much, Senator Bradford, for all of your continued advocacy, especially for exposing young people to higher ed and the things that you're doing in the community, especially in light of the pandemic. So we appreciate it and look forward to continue to partner with you.
Thank you very much. Likewise.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Senator Steve Bradford, we just want to say thank you for your continuous steadfast leadership to the community and just being there for us when we were really in the trenches. And that's where it really mattered. When it really mattered, you stepped up and you delivered, and we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for all what you do. And I miss not only seeing you in the community, but more importantly, at City of Refuge. I was about to say Faithful.
City of Refuge.
City of Refuge.
Yes,
I miss seeing you on Sundays there.
That's right. 8 o'clock service.
8 o'clock service.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm still attending online and posting the sermons every Sunday.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
I'm not that sophisticated in technology savvy,
well,
so
just click on Facebook.
I'm going to use that as my excuse.
Go with Facebook. Just click Facebook.
Trustee Benson.
Yes, let's see, my mic is on. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Senator, on behalf of myself as student trustee here at the wonderful Compton College, I want to congratulate you, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person and work with you in your office along with Compton College. Again, congratulations from the student trustee, Benson.
Thank you for all that you do. It is truly the students who make any institution, who they are. I mean, without the student population, none of these institutions would really matter. So thank you for being there, being an advocacy for making sure that the students' voices are heard. And however I can partner with you moving forward, please feel free to reach out to my office. Thank you.
Well, thank you and congratulations. I turn the floor back to Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Bradford, for your advocacy and the continued support that you have for our campus. I do also want to congratulate you on becoming the chair of the California Black Caucus, and we will most definitely use you as an advocate and a push for our community.
And for those who don't know, I attended Compton College for a semester, so I appreciate the opportunity that it presented for me when I transferred from San Diego State, and my transition between San Diego State and Cal State Dominguez Hills. It was there at Compton College that I was able to complete some of my coursework. Dr. Margie Miles, who was there back then, and Carl Robinson, who was on the board. So I thank all of those folks, and even predating me getting to college, Dr. Sykes and all his tremendous work, and Dr. Washington, who have been there at that college. It's a great institution. It's very important. And as we celebrate Black History Month, I really wish people would know what role that college has played, not only in the surrounding communities, but providing educational opportunities here in the state of California for so many deserving students. So thank you for what you do and continue to do.
All right, Dr. Curry, do you have anything to add?
No, I do not. Just want to say thank you to the Board of Trustees for the opportunity, and also thank you to Senator Bradford for being here today. And we will make sure you get the plaque will be delivered to your office through your staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to item number 9, request to address the Board of Trustees for agenda and non-agenda matters. Ms. Van Brown, do we have any comments?
Yes, we do.
All right, if you can please read them.
Certainly. The following were submitted from Gerald Warren. Question to the board. Can we have a band in the 2024 Rose Parade when we get the Aspen Award? Everybody loves a comeback. Can we have a band or drum line float with our school theme, All Roads Lead to Compton Community College? Something to show the world. This is also from Gerald Warren. Should we be doing all we can in the M&O department to catch up on repairs like painting, plumbing, moving, or spacing chairs, tiles, or some things that we can do to improve our campus while no one is here? What do you guys think? I think it makes sense. This is another one from Gerald Warren. Another question, can the LRC be open by appointments for our students? The next one is also from Gerald Warren. Can we work on having the westbound bus stop in front of the school this year? We have the police at the front. We need a bus stop there. This is also from Gerald Warren. For the February 2021 board meeting, some of my questions and concerns have not been answered. I am always available through phone or Outlook or in person at my work area. Please pass this along. And the last one from Gerald Warren. Question. Check with all of the past directors of M&O and ask them, did Gerald Warren do most of the plumbing work at Compton College? And see for yourself. R. Chapman, Dr. Cox, L. Tucson, Miss Aura Bryant, Mr. Carson, and Mr. H. Pratt, Dr. McCarter, just to name a few over the years. Those are all from Mr. Gerald Warren of Maintenance and Operations. The next one I have is from Jennifer Hill, Associate Professor of English, Compton College. Ms. Hill writes, respected members of the board, as I mentioned in my public comment at the board meeting on August 18th, Compton College has been publishing the wrong start date in its registration system for the past 2 years. I thought for certain, after informing you of this matter several months ago, that the problem finally would be fixed. Unfortunately, I was wrong. If you go into Banner and click on the regular 16-week course for the spring 2021 semester, it states that the term begins February 12th. When in fact, our start date is today, February 16th. This is extremely confusing, as well as downright respectful to our students. Many of them reached out to me to ask why none of their professors were showing up on February 12th. Can you imagine how they felt? Imagine showing up to college classes, raring to go, and no one is there to greet you. Would that make you feel valued as a student? I don't think so. It's been nearly 2 years, and every fall and spring, it's the same exact problem. The wrong start date is published in Banner. This goes far beyond incompetence. We are getting into malicious neglect territory here. In addition to informing you, our Board of Trustees several months ago, I have brought this problem to 4 different vice presidents, as well as our college president. No one seems to care enough to get this one fundamental thing done correctly. How do you run a school like this, where you tell your students that classes begin on the wrong day, not just one semester, but several semesters in a row? Barbara Perez, who is in charge of our Banner implementation, has been aware of this issue since June 2019. She reports that the problem cannot be fixed. She also said in writing, and I quote, "It does not matter anyway, since Compton students show up on the wrong start date all the time." I think it matters a great deal, and I hope you do too. For the record, North Orange County Community College District and many other colleges use the same exact registration system as we do. They don't seem to have any problem consistently publishing the correct start date. Why on earth can't we? We have lost more than 30% of our students in the past year. The situation is dire. We cannot afford this sort of base negligence to continue any longer. Our students deserve better. This community deserves better. It is time for the board to demand accountability. Just saying, this problem needs to be fixed is not nearly enough. I am begging you to check. Please, on behalf of our students, help us get this problem sorted out once and for all. Jennifer Hill, Assistant Professor of English. That is all the requests I have received. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 9.02, Compton Community College District Board of Trustees Future Agenda Items Request. I will call upon the board members to see if there's anything to add. Trustee Ramos.
No request.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes. Give us an update on Banner.
Can you be more specific?
The concerns that the young lady just said. Give the board an update on Banner and what the issue is and what's going on with it and how it can or cannot be fixed.
All right, anything additional?
Gerald Warren answered the questions when he gets a chance. Dr. Curry meet with him or Dr. Curry have his staff meet with him and answer those questions, please.
I'm going to meet with him. So I reached out today because that was one of my follow-up items. So I reached out today, but I'm going to schedule a meeting with Gerald Warren.
So, okay, I don't want to go say anymore. Okay.
I'm going to schedule a meeting and respond to every one of his questions, but my goal is to meet with him.
Okay. But I still want Banner on the future agenda.
All right. Anything else before I move forward?
No.
All right. Dr. Little?
Yes, I too wanted an update for the Banner situation, and then wanted to know the update on the research done by the professor from USC who was coming to begin the study. My mind is just blanking right now, but.
Adriana, you mean?
Yes, Kezar, Dr. Kezar.
And just to clarify, is that to confirm she has met with each individual board member?
I just wanted an update on where we were in the process. I've not met with her. I just wanted to know where we were in the process because I know it was embarking last month. And so just wanted an update.
Got it. Okay. I do know that she reached out to individual board members, but I will have Dr. Curry add that and follow back up most definitely. Dr. LeBlanc?
Yes, I'd like to add to the agenda for next month that we honor School Board Member May Thomas for Women's History Month for her leadership to the Compton community.
Is that for a particular category or event that we are hosting?
Pardon me?
Is that for a particular category or event that we're hosting?
No, we're not hosting anything. We had the request for this month, but it didn't get to the agenda. So you were asking if there were any new agenda items. And so I just want to make sure that that was added to the record.
Okay.
President Lopez, may I ask a clarifying question on that same note? If there are recommendations of elected officials, does that need to be declared publicly in this meeting, or is there a request sent to you and Dr. Curry?
Let me get a clarifying question just because we haven't acknowledged, when we've acknowledged there's been a tie into the work done directly to the campus. And so we will most definitely follow back up on the specific question of Dr. LeBlanc. And I will also have Dr. Curry provide a clarifying question for that process moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Trustee Benson.
Not at this time. I'm sorry, ma'am.
No problem. All right, moving on to item number 10. Can I get a motion for,
So moved.
we have to, why do we also have the December one on here? Dr.
You
Curry?
have the study session
Yeah.
notes,
Got
and
it,
then they
the
weren't
notes.
approved at last meeting. They weren't done at the time. And then also, you have the January 19th.
Wanted to confirm. I need to open on my end. Apologies. Motion to approve item 10.01 minutes of the December 12, 2020 Board of Trustees study session.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Little and seconded by Dr. LeBlanc. Do we have any questions? Trustee Ramos,
None.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yeah, just a little update. I already discussed it with Dr. Curry. He know what it was. That's all.
Okay, no problem. Dr. Little,
No, thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No.
Trustee Benson.
No.
All right, moving on. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call, please?
Certainly. Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 10.02. Can I get a motion for the minutes of the January 19, 2021 Board of Trustees meeting?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Dr. LeBlanc. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No question.
Trustee Calhoun,
No.
Dr. Little,
No.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No. Thank you.
Trustee Benson.
No.
Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Okay. All right, moving on to presentations. Item number 11.01, Compton College Promise. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, I would like to, as a part of the board presentation report schedule, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Nelly Alvarado to introduce the presentation for today on the Oliver W. Connor College Promise Program. Dr. Alvarado.
Hello, everyone. I am trying to turn my camera on, but my Zoom is hiding. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nelly Alvarado, Director of Educational Partnerships, and today presenting on the Oliver W. Connor Promise Program, we have Dr. Daisy Alfaro. She is our Outreach and College Promise Coordinator.
Great. Hello. Hi, thank you so much for having us today. So today I'll be going over the Oliver W. Connor College Promise program. And I want to start off by a comment of one of the things that Dr. Curry said at our professional development last week. He started the academic this semester reminding us of our goals for Compton College and specifically Compton College 2035, and that was affordability, educational justice, and transformation for our communities. And the Oliver W. Connor College Promise Program is well situated to meet these goals. The Connor College Promise Program promotes college access, makes college more affordable, and connects our students to the resources available at Compton College and in our communities. So what I'll be going over today, in the next slide, please. What I'll be going over today is a little bit more about an overview about Compton College Promise eligibility, fees and cost, and give you a profile of our 2019-2021 applicants. We'll go over demographics and success for this cohorts. And then we're going to finish off by, I'll be reviewing our outreach efforts to increase enrollment and next steps. Next slide, please. So the Oliver W. Connor College Promise Program covers the first 2 years of enrollment fees at Compton College, beginning with the fall semester after seniors graduate from high school. Some of the promise benefits include guaranteed admission. Our students received waived enrollment fees during the first 2 years of college for enrolling in 12 units by census. And thanks to a $6 million donation from the Oliver W. Connor, we are now able to provide students with a $400 a year for books and course supplies. They're also able to participate in a free tablet and laptop loan program. And upon successful completion of their first year at Compton College and enrollment in 12 units during their third semester, they're able to keep either the tablet or laptop. They're also eligible to receive support services through the Compton College Graduate Advantage. They receive assistance to complete the registration steps. They also receive priority registration and participation in numerous support programs. So we work very closely to connect our Promise students with all of the different student support programs on campus. And to highlight two of them that we work closely with is first year experience and the extended opportunity programs and services, EOP and SCARE. They're also required to participate in our Summer Bridge program, where they receive support and get to meet with actual faculty and be part of numerous workshops that are going to help them be prepared for college level English and math placement. Next slide, please. So to participate in our Promise program, students need to have graduated from Compton, Linwood, or Paramount Unified School Districts. And those are the only students that are going to be eligible for our Promise program. So if you see here, these are all the different high schools that are part of each district. Each one of these districts signed an MOU with Compton College beginning in 2017 with Compton Unified. Linwood Unified established in May 2018, and Paramount just 2 years ago on June 2019. So at this time, we have cohorts from all three different districts. Next slide. So now I'll be going over Promise eligibility. So some of the requirements include completing the different steps to enrollment. And as I said, our team in educational partnerships walks their students through each of these steps to enrollment, but specifically interested in making sure that they apply to financial aid, either the FAFSA or California DREAM Act. So I work very closely with financial aid to make sure that students have completed a FAFSA or DREAM Act or California DREAM Act application and have submitted all verification forms needed. They also need to submit a completed Compton College Promise application, enroll as a full-time student, 12 units during the primary terms for both fall and spring semester. And lastly, they need to maintain a minimum 2.0 GPA and complete at least 67% of the courses attempted each semester. For example, they needed to have completed 9 out of 12 units for this fall. Next slide, fees and cost. Next slide. Okay, so what are the fees covered by Promise? So if you see here, this is an example of how much our students are saving when they're part of the Promise program. So it covers enrollment fees. So the $46 a unit enrollment fees is covered by Compton College. The only fees that are not covered by the Compton College Promise is the student health service fee, which is $19 per fall and spring semesters and $16 per winter and summer terms. This Promise program also does not cover the student representation fee of $2 for the fall and spring semester. It also doesn't cover parking fees or the ASB student activity fees. But if we just look at the enrollment fees, basically our students are saving hundreds of dollars each year. So if you look at what they have here, our Oliver Connor College Promise, our students will only be paying $40 to $42 for the fall term, $32 for the winter, $42 for the spring, and summer $32. So that means that they're going to get a college education from Compton College for only $148 for the first 2 years. That's saving them $3,680 for these 2 years, therefore making college affordable. Next slide. So we've had 2 cohorts now that have benefited from the Promise program. So I'm going to be going over the 2019 through 2021 applicants. So the first slide that I'm going to go over is how many applications did we receive from Compton College. You see here is both the 2019-2020 cohort on the left, and on the right you have the 2020-2021 cohort, so this past year. For 2019-2020, we did have 174 applications. And for the 2020-2021 academic year, we received 121 applications. And these charts show you by the breakdown by district. So as you could see here, a lot of our students are coming from Compton and Linwood and Paramount. So next slide, please. So even though we had 121 applicants for this past year, for 2020-2021, we had 26 students enroll. So the blue on the right side shows you that only 26 students enrolled. That means that they enrolled in 12 units or more. And that's a huge difference from the previous year. In 2019-2020, we had 104 students enrolled in 12 units or more. And later on, I'm going to go over some of the reasoning behind these numbers, but one of the main issues that we ran across was the COVID-19 pandemic. And so I'll be going over some of the explanations we heard from our students and some of the challenges they face in enrolling in 12 units or more. Next slide. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of demographics and success. The next slide, please. And so this includes both cohorts. And first, I'm going to be going over gender. So you'll notice that Promise participants are a majority male, while the majority of all Compton College students are female, even among students 19 or less. So 67.53% of our Promise students identify as male. In terms of ethnicity, the vast majority of Promise participants are identified as Latinx. 73% of all Compton College students aged 19 or younger are Latinx. So these are very similar in terms of numbers. So if we look at our 2 cohorts, 82% identify as Latinx. Then we have 12% identify as Black or African American, and 6% as other. Next slide. Now here, what we're showing is the retention of our students, the success and retention rates. So success is defined as a student has completed a course with a passing grade, and retention is the student did not withdraw or have an excuse withdraw. So 44% of our students had a success rate, and 73% of our students were retained. Next slide. At last year's meeting with the board, you all asked us to talk about the disproportionately impacted groups. Unfortunately, at this time, we lacked a sufficient number of students in each subgroup to conduct a valid disproportionate impact analysis. But as we have more students participate in the program, we'll be able to combine cohorts and conduct this analysis program-wide. Next slide. So I'm now going to go over some of the outreach efforts that we participated in to increase enrollment. So like I mentioned, our numbers of students enrolled in 12 units or more were low this year. What we really tried to complete multiple points of phone banking and text messages. We sent multiple email communications. We mailed a postcard, and we put all of our services online. So virtual steps to enrollment were all available online. We facilitated these workshops and worked with our high schools to try to make sure that students completed these steps before graduating from high school, but unfortunately it did yield to only 26 students enrolled this year. Next slide. But we did take the effort, made the effort to contact every single student and uncovered the reasons for delayed enrollment. So a lot of these students cited the coronavirus pandemic as one of the reasons as why they were delaying beginning higher education after high school, worsened financial realities. Many of them decided to work full-time instead to help their families, and also they shared skepticism about online learning. However, we took this information, the Promise Committee reviewed this commission, and Dr. Curry and the Promise Committee decided that, we were going to extend the eligibility for Promise. So spring 2020 graduates who did not enroll in fall of 2020 may join the Promise program in spring of 2021. We also hosted a virtual open house to try to get more information out to our students. Next slide. So to conclude, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. We have been working very closely with our high schools to provide virtual steps to enrollment. We offer daily application, registration, even financial aid workshops. We are also working with high schools to implement virtual informational sessions in collaboration with financial aid, EOP&S Care, and FYE. We are in the process of conducting enrollment cycles at each high school. Websites have been updated at the district level, and Promise banners have been added. So if you go to Compton Unified's website, you'll see that the banner has been added. Lastly, we're also going to be sending out postcard mailers and having a Compton Connect Day, Senior Day, to try to see if this year we could really address a lot of the concerns that our students are facing when making decisions about starting higher education after graduating from high school. So these are ongoing efforts that we're doing because we're really committed to making sure that higher education continues to be accessible and affordable for our 3 districts. So thank you all for this opportunity, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. All right, I'll open it up to our board members. Trustee Ramos.
For my first question, on slide 11, do you have any idea of why there's such a discrepancy between the first year to the second year with Compton? Like, why was there such a drop? Whereas the other 2 districts had an increase in applicants.
Dr. Alfaro?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, a lot of the students stated that they were not going to continue, they weren't going to go to college because of the pandemic. They just weren't sure about, starting higher education when their families were experiencing a lot of financial difficulties. And then also a lot of them had skepticism about online learning. In terms of the discrepancies between districts, there was some districts that we were able to host enrollment cycles in person right before the pandemic. So for Linwood Unified, that's the district I oversee. So I was actually able to host enrollment cycles in person right before the pandemic hit, before we had the stay-at-home order. So that definitely made a difference versus Compton Unified. There was a lot, less, opportunities to do in-person enrollment cycles.
And my other question was, you had the chart for it showed the percentage of men and women. Do you have an idea why there were more men than women?
So we have been very intentional at looking at our disproportionately impacted groups. We have done a lot. Our team, I have brought in some research to try to identify, what are some of the, best practices to ensure that we have more Latinx and Black or African American males come to college. And so we have been intentional in those efforts in embedding that into our work at the high schools. But also it has to do with just the work that we've been doing with the high schools and working with the counselors and making sure that they are helping us work with those students that don't tend to have that many informational sessions come into the classroom. So I know for Linwood Unified, I've asked them if we could, do workshops, informational sessions in the classes that, most of these students, aren't getting these presentations from higher education, from other higher education institutions. And so I would attribute a lot of this to our efforts of working with high school personnel and directing us to those disproportionately impacted groups that we're trying to make sure have access to higher education.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alfaro, for the presentation.
You're very welcome.
All right, Trustee Calhoun.
Yes, you can go back up to page 11, please. I had the same concerns, and I was looking at the 174 to the 121. And that's about what, 53 less students, and what procedures, I think you talked about them, but what procedures are you putting in place to get it back where it should be and more?
So Dr. Alfaro, you can answer this question again in regards to what we're doing. But I want to just point something for the board of trustees, is that every community college struggled with new students enrollment from high school because of the pandemic. I think it's very important as we look at the second round of funding for the federal government, and our staff is working on a plan now, is to really engage the high school students who graduated in spring of 2020, and then also who graduated in spring of 2021, and do some new initiatives to recruit them to come to Compton College. And I think we have to entice them with additional emergency grants for those students. And that's going to be a part of the plan. Regards to that, we really have to focus in on the students from our local districts, especially through the Promise program, because a lot of these students are afraid of higher education because of distance learning. So how can we make sure that we provide them the support to be successful on campus or through distance learning, but also know that we're available for them financially to support them during this pandemic? Dr. Alfaro.
No, that's okay. Hold on. Did she say that the cost of the college was free for the Promise program? I saw her with some, I'm not going to go. No, Dr. Curry. I'm not going to go there right now, but wait a minute. I say this with no disrespect, and I've talked about it a lot. If a student doesn't see anybody like them, they have a concern. I would have a concern. If I'm going to class, and every class I go to, I don't see anyone like me, then I have a concern, and I would ask the question. On your staff, are there any African Americans?
Are you talking about the outreach staff?
That's working with Dr. Not our staff, she's working with the Promise program.
Dr. Farrell?
Yes, the education partnership team, yes.
No, I'm talking about from Compton College.
Yeah, she's talking about the staff within her department.
Okay, yeah. So who goes out or who does the Zoom for the students? So Dr. Curry, obviously you gonna answer the question. So let me ask you, who does the Zoom or does the outreach for students to take over the Promise program?
Our staff does the presentations. They have various staff members who are providing those presentations.
Something is not reaching. Something is not reaching. I've asked this before. I asked how come we don't, how to talk to the city or whatever to see if we could put a banner. Remember, I talked about this before, about putting a banner on different sections about the Promise Program, letting people see it, to call the number, to help with the students. We have a neighborhood right across the street from the college off of Greenleaf. Not a whole neighborhood. Are we mailing stuff to the neighborhoods or the houses? Are we dropping them like on the gates or whatever, like a Walkman would do? What are we doing during this pandemic? And I understand that students are concerned about having a job, making sure that they are able to help their parents with bringing in financial status. Some of them are probably losing their home. I have all of that. But through it all, we still have to work through all of that. Some people don't want to do online classes. I got that. Even some of our staff don't want to do online teaching. So if some of our staff don't want to do online teaching, what's the best way to get it where the students will accept online teaching?
So Trustee Calhoun, we get back. We've been looking into the matters within the city, but we'll provide updates on what information we have sent out to students. But we have worked with our local districts to send out postcards to graduating seniors and also juniors about Compton College. So we can come back and give you an update on what's been sent out. We have sent postcards out to all the residents regards to registering at Compton College as well. So it's not that we're sending stuff out. The issue that most community colleges nationwide is having is due to COVID-19 and the pandemic of how to re-engage individuals into the college due to online learning. So we're trying to work through that, but we can provide you with the activities we have done as relates to recruitment for not only the college, but also for the program.
And I also brought up about the DMV. The Compton DMV and other DMVs have that where things go across it and they be talking about what's going on in the community or calling this number. I suggested about looking at the DMVs to see if they can put the information about Compton College in the DMV where it goes across the thing and you're sitting there and you're reading it. I asked about that a long time ago. We talk about the newspaper. Okay, so we have the Compton Bulletin, you got the Sentinel, you have the LA Times, you have the Carson Observer, you have the Daily Breeze, you have newspapers, you have the Linwood newspaper, we have all of that.
And we have paid for advertising in newspapers, and I will include a report regards to the advertising we have paid for.
All right, because I haven't seen it in the Compton Bulletin. So we don't want to go back and forth. And I don't. These are just some of the things that I am asking about the Promise Program in order to get students to do the Promise. And like I say, I can understand, but we have all had issues with online classes. Let's just admit it. We still having issues with the online classes, online teaching, online everything. So once we realize that, then we just have to figure out another way. I don't have the answers. Nobody, I guess we don't have the answers either, neither does the college, but somebody ought to be able to figure this out. I know you said we gave our students laptops, hotspots. Are the laptops working? I don't know, Dr. Curry. That's I'm just saying, I don't see it. I have not seen an ad in the LA Times. I get the LA Times 7 days a week. Have not seen it in the LA Times. Sorry about that, I haven't. I haven't seen it in the Compton Bulletin. I know it's been on KGLH. I don't know if it's been on any other radio station. So if I don't see it, that means somebody else is not seeing it either. And I know that your staff is working hard, and in order to do these things and get them done, I'm just saying what I don't see. And maybe it's not meant for me to see it. I'm just saying what I don't see. I'm not going to ask any more questions about this. But if you could go to page 20 of this PowerPoint, please. Page 20. Okay. Where it says website promise banner, what is that? Is that banner that I'm
No.
asking? Okay.
No, that was what was mentioned in the presentation. They provided with a couple of our districts, they put information about the Promise program on their websites.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Do we know for a fact whether or not Compton Unified is following through with assisting us with the Promise program by sending stuff out to their students? Or Linwood or Paramount or any of the other schools that have been working with us?
They have provided us with the students' contact information, and we have been able to send stuff out directly to students.
Has any of the things that you sent back or the college has sent back, has any of it come back to say this person no longer lives here?
I can't answer that question. I'll follow back up regards to that. I don't know how much was returned. I don't know that answer to that question.
Okay, that could be an issue because people do move, and maybe is either updated at Compton Unified or is not updated at Compton Unified. And so I'm just saying, I really wish I had had this opportunity. So although I understand everything, I still have issues. That's all I'm saying, Dr. Curry. And then what about, do we work with the county office? The one on Santa Fe?
So I think the question here, Trustee Calhoun, and it's up to the board. We have provided updates in previous board meetings and board packets regards to recruitment activities and what's going on, and we continue to do that. But at the next board meeting, we can agendize the outreach efforts and what we're doing. If the board would like to provide more input and recommendations, it could be on the agenda the next time for your input and conversation. And
I would like for it to be, all right, I'd like for it to be put on the agenda for future agenda.
And I have no problem doing it.
I know you don't, Dr. Curry. You work hard. You work hard for us and you work hard for your staff. I might seem like I'm giving you a hard time. I'm not. I'm just, I guess I'm frustrated and my frustration is coming through, and I'm trying not to let my frustration come through because we are losing students. That's all.
And Trustee Calhoun, I think my response is I understand that we're losing students, but I also understand the nationwide and also the data statewide about what's happening during this pandemic. And what I'm trying to focus on is now and then also the future. It's very critical for us to really focus in on the outreach to our local high school students to get them involved and engaged in the College Promise program. And we have continued to push that. And so we have looked in before in the past regards to the banners within this committees, and I want to follow back up on that. But I think where we're headed is a good place, but we have to continue to find ways to engage students into Compton College, and that's where dual enrollment has been helping us. We just got to continue to figure out new ways to engage, because the old way of recruitment or the traditional way of recruitment doesn't exist anymore due to COVID. So we have to think differently about it. I understand about the DMV, but if you understand now with the DMV, with social distancing, how many people are allowed to go on the DMV and receive those services, right?
20 people.
So it's not like it used to be before, right? So we're trying to work through some of these challenges regards to recruitment of students. And I would give the Unifieds a lot of credit because they have been very helpful with us regards to targeted outreach to their 11th and 12th grade students about Compton College. And they continue to follow back up with those students. It's going to be a challenge for us as we move forward. But as you might not be aware of, is that we have been increasing the number of staff in our educational partnership department over last year, and then COVID hit. We have more individuals involved in the department, and we've been hiring due to the grant that we received from the College Future Foundation, the partnership with Compton Unified School District. We've been able to add additional staff, but our goal was to have these additional staff at the school sites. Then COVID hits, now everybody is working remotely. So it changed so quickly from where we were headed a year ago to where we're headed at now.
I got a question, and then President go. I know we're always talking about 12 credits or whatever. Has anybody ever tried to say, well, instead of asking for 12 credits, why don't we just do 6 credits with 2 classes? I don't know. What could that be done? I'm just asking a question.
I think that's right now. We promise students the goal is to have those students full time, so they're able to complete in a timely manner.
Right.
However, as you look at COVID-19 and what's happening, and I talked about this in one of my my messages, is about really looking at what is the definition of part-time student. And in COVID, what you're going to see is more students being part-time due to their other obligations. I don't know if anybody saw, there was an article that came out a couple of weeks ago. I want to say it was the LA Times. I just can't remember what newspaper it came out of, but it talked about how our high school students are now not
That was
only going
LA
to school,
Times.
but
That was
they're
LA
not only going to
Times last
school,
week. Yeah,
they're not only
last
going to
week.
school, but they're also working during the daytime.
Right.
So when you're talking about what's happening with enrollment, school is not some individuals no more priority. So we're trying to figure out ways to engage. And in my message, I talked about the focus on part-time. So what does that do with the Promise program? I don't know, but I think that should be on the table.
Okay, well, can you check it out instead of doing the 12 credits, do the 6 credits, and they say, oh, I can still do this, and I can still have a job, and I can still have those credits. It might take them a little longer, but maybe they don't mind being a little longer if they don't have to have so many credits to do it. Can you just look at that?
I think, as I mentioned in my message, I think everything is on the table, right? And so those are some things that we have to work through over the next month or so, regardless of how do we move forward as an organization. But in my message, I was very clear about the focus on part-time, because it's going to be very difficult as we come through COVID-19 to expect every student to be full-time. That's not going to happen.
And so is 6 credits part-time or is 12 credits?
The
It has
question
to be
is,
12
below
for
12 is
financial aid.
part-time. So the question will be, what do we do for students in Promise who are not able to be full-time? What services can we provide? So again, we're going to take back all the information from the night. At the next meeting, we'll talk about outreach. And then we'll also be talking at least 2 meetings from now about the Promise program and where we're headed for the Promise program. Because I think there's a lot of decisions that need to be made that won't be able to be made by March. I need a little bit more time because I need there's another task force that's working on first year experience. So I need to get some input from them and then begin to have a conversation about what does the future Promise program look like.
All right. And then Cerritos didn't help us any because they got some of our students, didn't they?
We have everyone trying to take our students. That's what we're dealing with right now. Right now, everybody wants to recruit students because everyone's enrollment is down, and so we're trying to work through this. But we will come back with this item. So the board, I'd like to come back in 2 meetings about the Promise program, and then next meeting we talk about the outreach and activities and what we're doing.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Curry, for putting up with me.
Thank you, Trustee Calhoun.
Now calling on Dr. Little to see if you have any comments or questions on the presentation.
Yes, just a quick couple. If we can please go back to page 11. Thank you, Dr. Alfaro, first of all, for a great presentation and all your hard work. Right there, I think the data percentage is wrong. I think 38 equates to 31%. So not that the numbers aren't lessened, but unless my math is off, I think we equate for 31%. But to the point of the conversation that was just had with Trustee Calhoun, I know so many things you guys were doing even before COVID, coming out to the community meetings, going and identifying different places. We're going to agendize this, but I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to, let's just say with Compton and the 3 high schools in Compton Unified, are we precluded from setting a particular date and going through the schools, the principals, and basically having an open house for the College Promise for juniors and seniors where we can join virtually and answer questions, maybe in coordination with our community events that we've held. And it's not a question of answering right now, but just wondering what can we do to be more visibly supportive with these efforts. And we can talk about additional ways in which to outreach through work centers and things like that, youth build and places like that where young people for free could, even if they're taking one class, towards knowledge or degree, if it's for free, I think would be beneficial, especially because of the great resources that we're providing for students. My concern is not necessarily for one semester at a time, but I think the sustainability of our FTEs over time will be building this number. And while it's great that we have 121 applications, what is the total or total number of potential students across these 3 districts in 11th or in 9th through 12th? Do we have that number?
Yeah, we can provide that to you. I know you're talking about between 9 and 12, the number of students at the district. We can provide that.
Because it's thousands, right?
I would say there's thousands, but at the same time, I do know over the last couple of years, those numbers have been declining, but I would say 1,000 when you add in all 3 districts.
Right. But whatever the number is, it would be great. And I don't know, we may already have that, to have a targeted strategy to say we want to capture 20% of that in and sustain that each year, some kind of way. And then if we can have future information on their retention, their graduation, and then their post. My neighbor's child went through this and it's just outstanding. He graduated from Promise. He started college as a junior. He's a bright baby. He's like 18 or 19 and he's a walking billboard. And I just know that if more families, parents, children see that, it's a no-brainer. But I would love to know what the yield is so that we can also use that data to substantiate the why of participating in this. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc?
First of all, thank you so much for the presentation. It was very good. I am very much interested in the development of the Oliver W. Connor program. I have to echo and the support of my colleagues who've spoken before me. You covered the notes that I had jotted down for myself on the response level, the accountability, the need for outreach has already been addressed, but those were the areas of concern that I have because I think it's just a dynamite program. But I would add that we should, well, first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Curry for having this presentation done during Black History Month. And in that same vein, I think that we should each year henceforth find a way to celebrate the legacy of Oliver W. Connor, and so that our students know that this was a contribution that was made to our district by a Black man who worked and gave money back to the community. And that this is something that's so important as we're trying to find role models for our students. I think that many of our students can benefit from just knowing that. And I think that we should, this is a good month for us as we move forward, starting next year, to always showcase the life and contribution of Oliver W. Connor every Black History Month, along with other people, but he's our own hero. And so that's something that we should do. And again, I thank you for the presentation tonight. It just so happened to be done during Black History Month. But I think that we certainly need to follow up on the outreach and look to see how we can maximize the benefit of this program, and that it is just a marvelous, marvelous program resource for our community. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for the hard work that the staff and Dr. Keith, Dr. Keith Curry is producing on this item.
Trustee Benson. Trustee Benson? Right, I would take that as no comment. I do want to clarify and make sure some of the outreach that we have is very specific to the Promise program, correct? This is only for our students with the 3 partnership of the unifieds that we have, which is this Compton Unified, Linwood Unified, and Paramount Unified, correct?
Correct.
This isn't something that outside students from those 3 unifieds are able to participate and take advantage.
Correct.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. And I think this also goes back to our partnerships with having the individual districts and strengthening them in order for it to be a pipeline for the students to take advantage of this additional assistance. And so I do thank the team for being able to have an open line of communications with the unifieds and meet on a monthly basis and making sure that we're addressing all our students' issues. I hear great things from some of the high school counselors that I know and are pushing and working through this program. So thank you so much for the team. And appreciate your presentation. Moving on to item number 11.02, Extended Opportunity Program Services and Cooperative Agencies, Resources for Education Program, Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so I would like to, each year we have different presentational support programs. And so back for, I think this 2 years ago, she presented is Christine Aldrich, who is the EOPS/CARE Director, who will provide more information on the EOPS and CARE program. And I don't see Christine, but I know she's here.
I'm here, Dr. Curry.
There you go, I see you now.
Thank you, Dr. Curry and Board of Trustees. Again, my name is Christine Aldridge, and I am the Director of the Extended Opportunity Programs and Services known as EOPS and Cooperative Agencies Resources for Education known as CARE. Next slide. Tonight, I will be going over what is EOPS and CARE, discuss some of the eligibility criteria, highlight some of our great services, and share our goals. Next slide. As many of you know, there are many great student success stories in the EOPS CARE program. Tonight, I have the honor to share Irma's story. Next slide. Irma Leyva graduated from Compton College in 2018 with an AST degree in Administration of Justice and Associates of Arts degree in General Education with an emphasis in social and behavioral science. Irma thanks the EOPS CARE program at Compton College for helping her achieve her goals. As she quotes, "If it was not for their free assistance and services, I would not be where I stand in life now." Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, Irma was able to graduate with a bachelor's degree in human services with the concentration in mental health recovery in May of 2020. As she quotes, "Everyone undergoes different struggles, but whether you succeed depends on how much you want it." I so agree. I'm so proud of Irma's accomplishment. She truly is a success story, and I'm happy to share she continues to work in the virtual EOPS CARE office as a student worker. Next slide. So what is EOPNS? EOPS, for all of you that know, it's been around since 1968, since Senate Bill 164 enacted into law establishing the extended opportunity programs and services in the community college system. EOPS CARE at EOPS at Compton College is designed to help low-income and educationally disadvantaged students achieve their academic and career goals. Next slide. So let me talk to you a little bit about the criteria. In order to be eligible for the EOPS program, you do need to be a California resident or qualify for the AB 540 exemption waiver, be enrolled in 9 units. In October of 2020, there was a Chancellor's Office regulation that we can now accept new students enrolled in 9 units for the 2020-2021 academic year due to COVID-19. We also need to demonstrate a financial need by qualifying for the California Promise Grant and have less than 70 degree applicable units. Next slide. So what are some of the great services? As you know, our students, they get priority registration on tier 1. So they get to register before the general population. Our student services advisors and counselors, they provide EOPS orientations to our students. And we're also working on an online orientation. I have 3 full-time and 1 part-time counselor that are providing academic, career, and personalized counseling 3 times a semester. We also do early academic intervention in regards to where we have our student services advisors that they get notification when students are behind in assignments or missing classes. Also direct grants. In spring of 2020, we were able to give 344 EOPS students $201 in direct grants. We also are doing virtual workshops. We want to make sure that we're reaching our students virtually. We've done workshops on community resources, finding your life purpose, money management, and resume writing. But one of the biggest things that we do on campus is we work in collaboration with other partners like our Transfer and Career Center, Student Success Center, Men of Color Conference, and CTE to help provide them with, to help them to promote their workshops. If our students attend workshops, they receive $20 in every table meal, electronic meal card once a week when they attend workshops, which is really a great thing. Next slide. Cap and gown. So we do pay for our students cap and gown. We were able to mail out 107 cap and gown and EOPS sashes to our students for our virtual graduation in June, which was really nice. In regards to the EOPS Care book voucher for summer, we're still doing $300. And in the fall and spring, we're giving our students $600. We did get to participate in the laptop loan program in fall of 2020, and I'm happy to say that we have 57 EOPS and Care students who are receiving laptops. EOPS Care students will be able to keep their laptops after fall of 2021, after census data fall of 21, as long as they continue to stay in the EOPS program, which is great. Monthly educational supplies. When we were in the office, we were able to provide weekly supplies, but now that we are remote, we have been providing our students with monthly educational supplies. What we have been able to do is provide our students with backpacks. We've been mailing them out, and we're also working on getting them some headphones, some Beat headphones. In regards to transportation assistance, our EOPS students get $50 in a gas card as long as they have a car vehicle registered in their name, or they can also receive a Metro U-Pass. One of the things that we have been doing since December is really trying to increase our numbers of students that are enrolled in the EOPS program. It's very important to me that we continue to reach our students and reach out to what they need. Since December, we have actually done 15 recruitment sessions and had 34 students attend. And we've also been having a lot of our student services advisors are being reached, our students are reaching our student services advisors and our staff on Cranium Cafe. What is CARE? Well, CARE was established in 1982 as a vital component of EOP&S. Provides educational and career services for the academically underprepared students receiving cash aid assistance. Next slide. So what are the criteria for the CARE program? You do need to meet all of the eligibility requirements of EOPS, have at least 1 dependent child, be receiving cash aid, temporary aid for needy families, and be a single head of household. Next slide. So what are some of the great services that we provide in CARE? In the CARE program, our students also receive $300 in the summer, and in the fall and spring, $600. If they do need additional assistance with books, we can also provide them with another $600 because we can also help them through the EOPS program. In regards to transportation assistance with the gas card, our CARE students receive $100 for gas card as long as they have a vehicle registered in their name and also a Metro U-Pass. So it's up to them which one that they select. We had our fifth Care for Kids holiday celebration. As you guys all know, this year it was a lot different because we were virtual, but we still had a huge success. We were able to reach out to 18 students in our CARE program and actually help support them in regards to giving them Walmart gift cards. The team, we were really just going to go ahead and give the gift cards to our students ourselves, but because of Barbara Perez and all of the Guided Pathways divisions and all of the faculty and staff and administrators, we were able to raise $3,600 to raise money for our care students. So all of our care students receive $200 gift card in from Walmart, which is really great. In regards to monthly educational supplies, also care students are mailed out backpacks and other items that they need for their educational supplies. In the fall and spring, we do a virtual care mini conference. In the fall semester, we were able to have, over 12 students attend our fall care mini conference, which was really exciting. And we are excited to have a spring care mini conference as well. In the fall, we actually did a workshop with our Department of Social Services in regards to COVID-19. Next slide. So let me talk to you a little bit about demographics. As you can see in EOP&S in 2017-18, we had 827 students in our program. In 2018-19, we had about 39 students in our program. We had 866 students. And in 2019-20, we actually have a little bit of a decline with 621 students in our program. In regards to gender, the majority of our students in EOP&S are female, which at 68%. And we do align with the college in regards to being a Latinx program in terms of ethnicity. We have 65 students that are in terms of ethnicity in our program. In regards to age, the youngest group that we have is 24 years or younger. Next slide. In regards to success and retention data, as you can see here, basically we definitely align or we do a little higher than the college in regards to success and retention. There's just 1% in fall of 2018 where the general population, the Compton College, is higher than we are at 1%. But we do provide success and retention rates for our students. Next slide. I'm also happy to say that we do give our students certificates and degrees in our program, and we've had over 114 students that participated in our virtual graduation that we had in the spring of 2020. Next slide. So what are our goals? Our real goals are to continue to increase our outreach efforts through campus and community partners. I want all of you to know that we're dedicated to increasing our numbers in the EOPS and CARE program. I have all of my staff on a variety of different committees on campus, from undocumented allies all the way to LGBTQ, but we're making sure that we're reaching all of the different committees on campus so that we can increase our numbers. We also have a strong advisory committee members that we have in our community partnership. We have about 20 strong community partners that are helping to support us every semester in our program. And some of our community advisory members actually do workshops for our students. Again, I am dedicated to increasing the number of new students who apply to the EOPS and CARE program, and want to continue to survey the EOPS CARE students to ensure we are providing professional development activities that students need as single parents, and not only as single parents, but for as EOP&S. Next slide. As you can see here, here's the great team that works with me to make EOPS happen. There's 13 of us, and we actually have one member that's going to be board approved tonight. Next slide. Any questions?
Starting with Trustee Ramos.
The question I have is, how do you recruit these students? How are they found?
That's a great question. A lot of our students are found, basically, we have our student services advisors who are doing recruitment sessions, like I mentioned to you, that we can find them. We are contacting students that were in our program before so that we can have them come back. We're working with Cash for College, with financial aid in regards to Cash for College, that we can recruit from that perspective. But the biggest thing that we're doing with financial aid is we're working with students who qualify for the California Promise Grant A, B, or C with a zero earned family contribution, so that we can reach out to them. So I have my student workers calling and really trying to recruit those students that meet our criteria. And then again, with the 9 units, we can definitely assist our students a little bit better than when it was 12 units.
Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you so much for this presentation.
Thank you.
Trustee Calhoun.
No questions.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Little.
No questions. Just wanted to thank you all for the presentation. And it would be good, Dr. Curry, I don't know if that's possible, in the future to kind of coordinate which students, like by demographic groups or age groups, who are taking advantage, and to see if there's any tie-in also to our promise students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No questions. Thank you so much for the presentation.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.
Trustee Benson.
Yes, I just want to say good presentation. Keep up the good work. Your staff is working hard. I appreciate that, and looking forward to working with you this coming semester again. Thank you for the hard work that you and your staff doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I did want to talk about the access that some of our students have had to the program now that we've transitioned to going virtual. How has that outreach worked with some of our students?
Well, I know it's been a little challenging for some of our students, but the biggest thing we're trying to do is kind of emulate what we did provide on campus, which through Cranium Cafe is just really being there for the students. I've have my staff will do Zoom meetings with students or just really try to connect with them, even though we're not, able to see them. One of the things we really want to do is do some better check-ins with them. When we've had our mini conferences and we've had some of our events, we know that some of our students are facing a lot of different barriers. And so we want to make sure we're listening to what it is that they need. We do have our application now online. So it's real simple for them to go ahead and apply online, which is really great news. So we really have done, and I have to give it the credit to my team, a really good job of putting everything online for our students to have access. And again, making sure that we're always available on Cranium Cafe versus the phone to assist them. I go on Cranium Cafe if students are having any issues. So, again, I want to make sure that we're providing the quality services for our students.
Right. And can you talk a little bit about the book voucher? Is that something that is only, how does that work?
Right. So any student that's eligible for our program that is, entered into the program is eligible to receive a book voucher. So for example, they can receive up to $600 in books for required books for the fall and spring semester.
And so are these vouchers given in advance, or are they given middle of a semester when a class has begun?
Great question. So right after the student sees a counselor, then we will then go ahead and issue the book voucher, because we want to make sure that they're taking the right classes and that the classes they're taking are required for what it is that they need. And then we work with the bookstore, and actually the bookstore is mailing out the books to our students now. So that's different. It's a little bit of challenging in the beginning, but I think we perfected that trade with Princess in the bookstore, and now our students are getting their books mailed to their homes, and it's working out very well.
Got it. And so just to understand and confirm, if students are admitted in this program and they're signed up for a course in advance, they will be reached out, provided a voucher, so they'll have the book beforehand, before they begin the class, or do they not receive the book until 2-3 weeks into the class? And is it also for each class that they get a book, or do they only qualify for a certain number of books?
No, so we do pay for every required class, but sometimes what happens is some of our students wait to apply for EOPS until the semester starts. So there might be a situation where we are not able to give them the book right away, but we can always reimburse them. And so we let them know that. So like if a student wasn't enrolled into our program yet and had purchased the books, then we can go ahead and reimburse them that amount, and we let them know that. But we do, like I said, once they're admitted into EOP&S, they are eligible for the book voucher, and then we will go ahead and work with the bookstore on mailing out to them all of the required books that they need for their courses. It's very important that our counselors make sure that they review what it is that they need in regards to their educational books and everything like that, the courses that they're taking, and then we'll go ahead and issue them the book voucher.
Got it. And for example, if a student has to pay out of pocket, is that they go and they purchase it anywhere and they'll get reimbursed, or is it outlined and stated specifically where they are purchasing this book in order to qualify for a reimbursement, given that they're paying upfront out of pocket with limited resources, given that they're already in this program?
Absolutely. We do make sure we let them know that if they do purchase books, it has to be through the bookstore. So if we tell them up front, I can't take any books from Amazon or any other type of, places like that. But I do let them know up front that they do need to make sure that they're purchasing the books from the bookstore on campus.
So it's a very specific reimbursement location.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Great questions.
No problem. All right. Thank you for the presentation. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
All right, moving on to item number 12, Associate Student Body Report. Ms. Queen Juarez, bear with me. I know I saw, I just want to make sure.
I'm here, I'm present.
Yep, there you go, thank you.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Queen Juarez Ward. I serve as this year's ASB President for 2020-2021 academic year. I'm here today to provide you guys the ASB report for the month of February. This past month, our Associated Student Body attended our ASB Winter Retreat that was led by our advisor, Chris Perez. At a retreat, we discussed and approved of requisitions for this upcoming spring for our students to benefit from, as well as reviewed and updated our ASB finance code and procedures. We created a draft for our new constitution for next year, and as well as coordinated and created 4 different goals. One was an ASB just team goal altogether, what we would want for our closing year since spring semester is coming very fast. Our ASB personal goal, an educational goal, and a leadership goal. Discussing these goals, we were able to also create and delegate objectives to help us assist and achieve these goals together as a team. Together with you guys, I would like to congratulate Shayna Burns, our newest member of ASB. She will serve as the treasurer for 2020-2021 academic year. Ms. Burns is committed to students and she makes a great fit for the position. Myself and ASB are excited to lead with her in front of you guys today. As the students, we are getting ready for spring semester. Everything with COVID going on, with, of course, our numbers declining, a lot of our students not touching bases because we don't have a campus and we're not necessarily that community to see everybody's face and that reassurance, just so we can be on campus to see somebody that looks similar to us or somebody that we may trust. We are pushing our efforts to ramp up our plans for our ASB election application that will be online in March. Our efforts are just to work towards just voting and understanding that we want to increase the numbers of our campaign and our students' voice on campus. We continue to strive to allow our students to have a voice. So now that we're not together on campus, we really want to push the initiative that because it's virtual and it is different does not mean that our student voice is any less valued. Working together with the Office of Student Development and the student body, we provide an enriching experience for Compton College, even though we're being resilient with all of the challenges and the boundaries that a lot of students, staff, and faculty are facing. This will conclude my ASB report for the month of February. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Moving on to Academic Senate report. Dr. Minotauro, I don't know if I saw, hold on, give me a second. Yes, she is.
Yeah, she mentioned to me earlier today she had no report. Neither does Holly Schumacher.
Got it. Okay, so then we are moving to item number 12.04, CCFE classified report. Mr. Aminqua McKenzie.
Hello, Board of Trustees and campus and community stakeholders. My name is Aminqua McKenzie. I'm the president of classified, excuse me, classified local 3486A, Compton College Federation of Employees, and I'm also California Federation of Teachers. I'm one of the 24 vice presidents that serve in the California Federation of Teachers. So for my report, I'd like to inform you that we recently completed a 2-week training for a worksite leader, worksite rep leader program to have worksite leaders or worksite reps in every area of campus. So we currently provided a training on duties of fair representation, wine garden rights, grievance handling, a little bit on negotiations, issue resolvement, and related courses with that. It was a 4-part training that we condensed into 1-hour sessions. They're usually 3 hours long. So the members completed that last week. And so we'll be providing a list to the district pretty soon when we finish developing it. So these members will be able to reach out in every area and represent members with meetings and issue resolvement, and help them address their concerns with MOU questions that they may have, and other such questions that they may need assistance with. Ease counseling. They're regular union members, but they'll be representing members in their areas. And that's all I have to report right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to 13.13 consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. Sorry.
Thank you, board members. It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Trustee Calhoun. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos?
No questions.
Trustee Calhoun?
Yes.
If you give me the item numbers, I will note them down and we will come back and discuss them.
Okay, I was gonna make it easy for you.
So can I jump in on this, Trustee Calhoun? So Trustee Calhoun sent a couple questions, and I told her to make for the meeting, I would drop the questions in the chat, and I would drop the responses for her questions, but then the public can see her questions and they have been answered. If that's okay with the board.
Yes.
Okay. So there isn't anything that it was just Q&A, Trustee Calhoun?
Yes, he has the numbers. Didn't you receive it on your email? Because I asked him to start.
Yes.
I asked him to start sending the other board members my questions along with the answers that he gives. And so I just said, put it in the chat, Dr. Curry. That
Got
way.
it. Just want to
yes.
confirm that that's what you wanted to discuss. Okay.
Right. But if
Dr.
no. If President Lopez, if you want to know which one it is, I can tell you. And then you
no, I did get copied in the email. I just want to make sure that you had the platform for you to discuss what you wanted to discuss.
Yes, I was trying to make the meeting a little bit more smoother. That's just me.
It is much appreciated. All right, Dr. Curry, if you can please ensure that you have the Q&A listed in the chat box so everybody does have access to that, what Trustee Calhoun was referencing. Thank you very much, Trustee Calhoun. Moving on to Dr. Little.
No questions or concerns.
Thank you. Dr. LeBlanc.
No questions or concerns.
Thank you very much. Trustee Benson.
No questions, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Seeing no further discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Calhoun?
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc?
Aye.
Dr. Little? Dr. Little?
We can move on to the next one.
Trustee Ramos?
Aye.
Trustee Atkins?
Aye.
Trustee Lopez?
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 14. The first one we have is item Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution number 0216-2021B, budget transfers and augmentations for fiscal year 2020 and 2021. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun. Dr. Little. Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call, please?
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Dr. Little, Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 14.02, Facilities Planning and Development, contracts over 96,700 for PCM3 Incorporated. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
All right, it's been moved by Trustee Ramos and seconded by Trustee Benson. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little. Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee
Thank you.
Benson.
No discussion.
Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Dr. Little, Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye. Moving on to item number 14.03, Human Resources, Compton Community College District Resolution number 0216-2021C to approve the pandemic relief bonus. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Ramos, seconded by Dr. LeBlanc. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little. Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, seeing no discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do the roll call?
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Where's she at?
Trustee Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 15, discussion and action items. First up, we have 15.01, Compton Community College District Succession Plan. Dr. Curry?
Yeah, so this is just a follow-up to the last board meeting, so the board knows where we're at regards to succession planning. And you get the 3 key areas of focus, and also provided you a draft of the updated documents that we're preparing for exit interviews and also exit memos. But just if the board has any comments or any questions about the succession planning and the document we're putting together, it just gives you an opportunity to provide input.
And just to confirm, there isn't an action on here. This is just an information item?
It's information and for discussion, any direction from the board, correct?
Got it. Okay, so opening it up to discussion, Trustee Ramos.
No comment.
Trustee Calhoun.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes.
The succession, I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Is the succession plan, if something happens to you, what order it goes in? That's what,
That's the board,
Yes.
that's the part of board policy. But you asked about the succession planning regards to leadership development. You
Right.
asked for like when people leave, what happens,
Mhm.
and then also
Right.
try to build capacity. And that's what
All
I've been focused on. So the board
All right.
policy regards to your previous question, that's cited in the board policy. And I don't have the number in front of me, but there's a board policy in regards to that. Your second question.
Okay, that was good. I just didn't want to get it confused. I kept saying, no, I don't think that's what this was about. Okay, I like that.
So, but I just want to make sure that as we put the final pieces to this, and we talked about this at last board meeting, I want to make sure the board has a chance to provide input. And so if I want to make sure that we're not missing anything as it relates to this. But I think we're on the same page, but the board want to have an opportunity to provide input.
All right, thank you. Dr. Little,
No further comments. Thank you.
Dr. LeBlanc,
No discussion.
Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item 15.02, Compton College full-time equivalent students. Dr. Kirk.
So I just want to be able to provide, we talked a little bit about enrollment, and I think it's timely presentation. So this document talks about our 5-year FTS projection. And as you notice in each board meeting, we have this document updated for the board. Also, we have our section count and also our snapshot for enrollment. I saw an increase over this past weekend. So now we're down about 28% regards to our FTS. And so this document provides you an update of where we're at. We are monitoring enrollment, but we also provided information about what we have done regards to recruitment through social media, through postcards being mailed to our residents, through our radio and our radio advertising, and also our advertising in local newspapers as well, and then also the billboards. So you get a sense of the activities that we have already done. And we're going to follow back up, Trustee Calhoun, on your DMV question. And I'm going to follow back up with staff as well regards to banners in the community. So this gives you a sense, the second paragraph, about where we're at. But we monitor enrollment here a lot. And a lot of our focus has been, as regards to enrollment, has been dual enrollment. And we have made tremendous strides with dual enrollment even during this pandemic. And so we will continue to monitor that as we move forward. And right now for our FTS for this semester, we're approached about 12, I think it was 1280 was the number today, or 1242. But the new number just came out today as it relates to our FTS. Any questions from the board of where we're at in regards to FTS? But and most times when you talk about enrollment and what we're doing, we're projecting on a 5-year, and it's also tied to our enrollment management plan.
All right, I'm opening up for discussion to the board members. Trustee Ramos.
No questions.
All right, Trustee Calhoun.
Dr. Curry, how many of our FTS did you say the college has?
I want to say it came out today. I don't have the number in front of me. Sherry, is the number 12?
1252, Dr. Curry.
1252. It just came out today, and I had a chance to write it down.
Don't we?
But also too, we still have another 8-week session that we go look at this spring, and then at that point we'll be talking about some CARES dollars, not CARES dollars, but the new HERF dollars, and we talk about that at the next meeting. We will be doing some new strategic marketing campaigns for students for that 8-week session. But I don't have that information in front of you because I'm waiting on the plan from staff, which they're working on. But we will be able to provide that information to you very soon.
But don't we have, Dr. Curry, whereas the FTS go up or down, we're still covered?
Yeah, we're protected. And so I think that's important for the board to know, even during this pandemic, our FTS protected till 2026. Right now, it's important for us to focus in on policies, procedures, and structures of our organization. And we spend a lot of time, and I know we talked earlier about in the presentation about what we have done, but we have spent a lot of time regards to our structure. So we have increased the number of staff in our educational partnerships. We've been meeting with our local high school districts in regards to dual enrollment. We have had conversations with our local district. Not only have we expanded our early college, but we're also expanding our 288 agreements with our local districts. We also have increased the number that we have with CAMS regards to our instructional service agreement. So we're really flooding the high schools with dual enrollment because that's one of our avenues for student completion is by getting them early on and connecting with them while they're in high school. And then connecting that to our program maps, once they come to our campus, they complete the degree and certificate in a timely manner. So I think we're in a great position because we've been doing a lot of work in this area, but we continue to try to get better as it goes through recruitment. I just want to caution the board and also the community is that we are in a pandemic. Colleges do have an issue with enrollment. And I'm very concerned about with our campus, if you look at 2 weeks prior, students are registering on campus for the semester. We were not able to do that. And so as we think about the eventual return to campus and bringing more employees back, my first area of concerns is trying to figure out how can we bring more people back on campus to assist students regards to registration on a face-to-face and it's safe. And so that to me is the number one priority for me when I talk about recruitment. It's not just about mailing and it's trying to figure out how can we get more students to be able to interact with our employees in a safe environment prior to. But that also means the students have to feel safe about and wanting to come to campus to get help to register for classes. So those are some of the things that we need to think through. And I'm hoping that the board will be very supportive as you already have been regards to creating process and procedures, implementing the recommendations in our enrollment management plan. And they're trying to figure out ways to engage students in the enrollment process face-to-face that is safe for all parties. Because it's hard for those students to register online when they're so used to registering face-to-face. If you look at our data, prior to the second week, 2 weeks before school starts, you see a flood of students trying to register. That's not happening because of COVID-19 and this pandemic. Our college and LA Southwest have been hit hard because of that issue. If you look at our community members are waiting until the beginning of the semester to register and they need face-to-face assistance. So we have to figure out ways to get those students online, and that's where the dual enrollment is helping us because those students have laptops and are engaged in what we're doing now as an institution. But I just want the board to know that we have a plan, we have a direction, but the pandemic has hurt us, but we will be fine as we move forward in the future, from my perspective.
I lost track of who I was on. I think it was Trustee Calhoun that was presenting. Apologize.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was there any further questions, Trustee Calhoun?
No. I know that we're going to put our thinking caps on and we're going to start thinking out the box. And so that's a good thing because everything is in the box. So now we got to think out the box. So I appreciate all the work and thank you, Dr. Curry, for answering the questions. Thank you so much. I'm going back on mute.
All right, Dr. Little. All right, Dr. LeBlanc.
No further comments.
Trustee Benson.
Yes, one question I have, Dr. Curry, I just want to ask, I had the opportunity to attend a student government event at one of the colleges near the LAX, and they were asking me about the FTES students, the enrollment. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to get that information out. So that's why I'm asking you, is it okay for me to give that number out to the director of that that organization? This is one of the organizations that I was guest under him at that time. So I just wanted to find out, is it okay for this year in case if they ask me to come again as a guest?
Yeah, correct. So I will send you the report. You can share the information.
Okay. I just want to make sure in case.
It's public information.
Okay, I'll do that once I get it. Thank you.
I didn't have any questions, Trustee Lopez. I just wanted to let you know I was on. Thank you.
Yep, I figured. No problem. Moving on to 15.03, Achieving the Dream Institutional Capacity Assessment Tool, ACAP findings. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share, I include this in my my presentation to the campus community last week Thursday. I just want to make sure the board has information in regards to the ICAT survey that was completed by our employees. We had over 150 employees who participated in the ICAT, and the data is there for you to look at as a board. And so if you have any questions at a later date, we can take those questions. But this is helping us guide, this will help guide the work we do in achieving the dream.
All right. And just before we move forward, I want to make sure that there's no discussion from the board members. Trustee Ramos.
No, just thank you for the report.
All right. Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little. Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 16, Administrative Services Grants, Santa Clarita Community College District. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc. I know, and it's been seconded by Trustee Ramos. Any discussion? Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No discussion.
All right, Dr. Little. Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Paula. Can you do a roll call?
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Dr. Little, Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 17, Board Policies and Administrative Regulations. 17.01, Board Policies and Administrative Regulations Review Schedule. And Dr. Curry, just to confirm, is this an informational item, or are you asking us to adopt this information?
This is an information item. The board policy directs us regards to every board policy reviewed every 3 years. So the staff has been combing through all of our board policy, create a new chart regards to our timeline, work with the academic senate, regards to the review schedule. I just want the board to know this is the board policy that will be reviewed and administrative regulations, and we're going to begin our work we have already begun our work, but we'll start bringing forward policies beginning in March, which is a part of our timeline. And again, we have a lot of policies to review, but I think this is one of the areas that's really strong for our campus is regards to the review of board policies and administrative regulations.
All right, and just before we move forward, just want to confirm there's no discussion from my board members. Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No discussion.
Dr. Little. Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 18, information items. This is a recurring item that's on our board agenda. So if there's any particular agenda item that a member would like to speak on before I turn it over to Dr. Curry, I will open it up for discussion. Trustee Ramos.
I don't have anything to pull.
All right. Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
No questions.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No.
Trustee Benson.
No.
All right, Dr. Curry, you have the floor.
Okay, so I just want to provide a couple updates on some of the information items. Item 18.01 is the board goals, which the board approved last month through June 30th, 2021. And you can see we continue to document the board goals and connect them to the board policies. Also want to bring highlight to your attention to item number 18.07 provides an update on the Oliver W. Connor estate. I did talk to Trustee Calhoun last week regards to scheduling visits to the property. And so we're going to be following back up on that later this week with the property manager firm. So I know some board members would like to see the property. And so we tried to do that before COVID. And now we want to schedule that for board members to be able to see that. 18.08, just an update on the foundation. And then also I want to bring update to you on item number 18.11. This includes our enrollment management plan, and these are update on activities that are associated with the enrollment management plan and the dollars that were funded for those activities, which connects to our enrollment. So to give you more information about what we're doing as relates to enrollment. And I also want to bring to your attention item number 18.17. I'm sorry, 18.18, which is our OPEB irrevocable trust. Tonight's board meeting, the board approved the budget transfer of approximately $883,000 to support for additional payment for our OPEB, which is a part of the budget transfer. And there's a board letter from the Planning and Budget Committee about that. So that means our amount that we're paying into the OPEB trust, I'm sorry, 18.17, that it's in alignment with the board policy. I'm sorry, 18.16, sorry. And that concludes the updates that I have for the information section.
All right, and so if you could take over on item 19, future agenda items.
Future agenda items, we're working on getting the audit completed so the board can be able to receive the audit. And then we have a couple presentations for next month. We have the update on basic needs and success for the what we're doing in that area. And then we also have, we want to do an update on the 5-year fiscal management plan, a dual enrollment update as well. And that's, financial aid and transfer center, sorry.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 20, oral reports, Dr. Curry.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the faculty, staff, and the professional, human resources through professional development for their and academic senate for the professional development activities that I held last week on Wednesday and also Thursday. I thought the events went very well. Also want to announce, which I put in my newsletter, I had the opportunity last week to participate in the financial aid fundamental training. I got my certificate today. This is significant because if I don't complete the training, we would not be able to offer financial aid. And that was one of our requirements with the United States Department of Education. And so I was able to get that done in a timely manner. And I forwarded my certificate and information to Keith Cobb in the financial aid department. During my professional development recording, I talked about Compton College 2035. I know we're working on I know we're right now in the midst of 2024, but I also wanted to get people to start focusing in on 2035 and our next strategic plan for our organization. And from my perspective, we need to be focused on affordability, educational justice, and also transformation. What that entails, I don't know at the time, but I just want to start before we can start thinking about that as we move forward. And finally, today, I served on the governor's task force as relates to recovery, the equitable recovery for higher education. The report was released this afternoon. So I'll be sending out on Thursday the link to the report, but the report was done with several recommendations. And if you get a chance to read it, some of the stuff that we're doing at Compton with the focus on basic needs, and also the information that this work that we're doing at Guided Pathways, and some of the things that we have been talking about, common application, are included in those recommendations. And also about as it relates to CalFresh and having one application for students, so we don't have to ask them how many times they need services. So that concludes my report, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I do want to move on and have our student trustee report.
Yes, first of all, I'm so excited with the new semester started. I'm excited. And I'm looking forward to meet all the new students. I'd like to welcome them and our returning students. And on the student trustee caucus, we had got a lot of things done. And we are moving forward. And also, I'd like to say to all the singles and married couples, happy. I turn the floor over back to President Lopez.
All right. Moving on to Board of Trustees, Trustee Ramos.
No report.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes. I'm sorry. First of all, thank you. I did attend the Zoom for the ACCT government the National Legislative Summit date. They had a recap for all the 3 days. The most exciting thing, well, it was all good, but I really liked Dr. Jill Biden. She was one of our guests, and she really brought it in, and great information. And there was a lady from a rural college, Native American, and she was talking about the courses that they take and how important it is for Native American, the Native American colleges, that they do have a lot of students that are attending their college. And she graduated from one, and she told the story about her and her family, why she felt education was so important for all the Native Americans to attend the college. It was great, even though it was on Zoom. And then we had a report about the community college budget proposal. And a letter was sent to Honorable Nancy Skinner, Chair of the Senate Budget Committee, and Honorable Phil Ting, the Chair of the Assembly Budget Committee. And so it was talking about the colleges and the voices and representing everything that we needed. Talked about early action, ongoing funds, and it had the responses, but I don't want to go into all of it. It said one-time funds and deferrals. That was very interesting with all the legislative information that was given. And it was back-to-back conference. You did one week, and then you were doing the next one the following week. And so I was stuck on Zoom. So trust me, I know how the students feel. I'm not on it every day, but both of those conferences was an everyday thing from Monday, I think, to Wednesday or Thursday, and we were just glued to it. But very interesting topics that were coming out, especially about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how all the colleges are really digging deep into that for each one of their colleges. And they're looking at a lot of things that they saw but didn't see. And they're making changes on how to get more African-American men and women to apply for jobs at colleges. And some of the things they talked about was like a blind application and just go by the number, where you don't have what? Your name, your age, your ethnicity. There's one more thing, but a lot of colleges are talking about that in order to have a more larger variety of applicants that are filling out applications for to come work on college. So all in all, it was good. I enjoyed it, but sometimes it could be exhausting. So yes. I guess I should put myself in the way the students feel about being on Zoom, and they have to do it every day with their college courses, and we only get to do it every now and then the faculty and staff have to be teaching them on FaceTime and Zoom. So if I'm exhausted just from 2 days and you have the students 4 or 5 days, and that's what your livelihood is at, going from one to another, I give kudos. I give all of you kudos that are sitting up there on that Zoom teaching our students. I have to give you kudos and thank you, and that's all.
Oh, gosh.
All right, moving on to Dr. Little.
No comment.
Dr. LeBlanc.
Oh, no comment. I'm exhausted. Okay, but I got the kudos. Okay, no report. Enjoyed the ACCT presentation, and want to thank again Dr. Curry for bringing the Pfeiffer shots to Compton College. And I hope that more
faculty, staff, and students, and eventually the community will be able to take advantage of that opportunity. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, board members. Our next regularly scheduled board meeting is Tuesday, March 16, 2021. Our closed session begins at 4 o'clock and our open session begins at 5 o'clock. It is 7:22 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. You have a great night.
Oh, you
Thank
don't
you.
have a report?